It is a painful draw at Selhurst Park for Manchester United against Crystal Palace, a team we should have been beating by a bigger margin than they beat us in the previous fixture before this. The 4-0 thumping at the same venue. Guys, we had positives to take from this game, but I'll tell you mostly what I thought Erik ten Hag got wrong. My name is Webb. This is the match reaction for our goalless draw against Crystal Palace today. Now, first of all, there were so many positives to take from this game. First of all, we dominated the game entirely from the first half, from the start of the first half until all the way to the end. We should have scored about 4 or 5 goals in the first half alone. Unanswered goals, meanwhile. Of course, Eze had a few moments for Crystal Palace, but for some reason, he was not barring them. The player of his standards was not barring them. But we are creating overloads and overloads with Diogo Dalot coming and joining into the middle. Good overloads we are creating. We were creating chances, and I like the fact that Erik ten Hag rotated and brought in Garnacho with Ahmad on the flanks, and of course Zirkzee's started as the false nine. We were indeed threatening from both wings, which was good to see. Of course, there was huge traffic, heavy traffic for Ahmad on his side. I think they came prepared for him, but still, even Garnacho was trying to create so many chances. But Bruno did not have a good game. We are not clinical at all. We are blunt forward. You want to be clinical if you're going to win games in the English Premier League. You will always, and I mentioned it late in the first half, I said Manchester United will rue their chances. Those so many chances you create, if you don't bury them, you will rue them at this level. Crystal Palace will leave relieved, feeling, oh my goodness, how did we survive this arbitration? It should have been a mauling for Manchester United. I saw a stat somewhere, and as it is now, Manchester United is the club that have missed the most big chances, 17 so far as we speak. So the positive is we've created the big chances, but here's where I blame Erik ten Hag. The substitutions, the timing of the substitutions, but also the substitutions themselves. First of all, Joshua Zirkzee, for me, was the best player for Manchester United today. He had no business putting him off. Zirkzee, his link-up play is something we've not seen at Man United in ages. We don't have a player who does unpredictable things the way Zirkzee does it. Zirkzee is a very smart player, and we lack smart players in that team. We've got players with the talent in their body, but the brains are not really up there. Zirkzee is talented and extremely smart. His little nicks, the way he nicks the ball and plays 1-2s, links up his teammates. It was obvious for me that if Erik ten Hag just brought on Højlund when Zirkzee is still on, we would have scored a goal, because Højlund, no one beats him at positioning. Højlund, for me, is a good finisher. Højlund just needed to just come and stay there, even if he's not 100% fit. Keep him there and let Zirkzee play the link up with his colleagues. So for me, pulling off Zirkzee as the first substitution to bring on Marcus Rashford as a false nine, in my view, and I've said it time and again, Marcus Rashford as a false nine is as useless as the leadership of the Ugandan capital, Kampala. Extremely useless. He's extremely useless. It's like he's not there. And don't tell me how his squad goes against Barnsley. That was Barnsley. We are talking the English Premier League. Rashford is not good as a false nine. It can never work. You don't leave a half-fit Højlund, who is fit enough to make the bench, on the bench and bring in Højlund to be a number 9. That was wrong from Erik ten Hag. That's a wrong substitution he made. Yes, Rashford should have come on, and I'm not saying he should never have come on, because he had the right to come on, having even people were feeling he should have started. But I think the two wingers started quite well. But Ahmad, as the game grows, when he has not had a good start to the game, 60th minute, if you wanted to bring on Rashford, pull off Ahmad and bring on your Rashford. Bring Rasmus Højlund, partner him, put him ahead of Joshua Zirkzee. Let Zirkzee play that 9.5, the role that he plays best, with Bruno, who had probably arguably one of his worst games we've seen in a while. He was not trying to do magical things, wasting passes. Kobe too started poorly. I still think Erik ten Hag has got to protect this boy. He does not rest him enough. Kobe should have been coming off. For me, my substitutions initially were pull off Kobe, bring on Ugarte, pull off Eriksen, bring on Rashford, pull off Ahmad, bring on Rashford, pull off Eriksen, bring on Højlund. Those for me were my initial substitutions. So the two, of course, the three players who were brought on are players I had anticipated to come on. But the people he pulled off, it should have been Kobe Maino, because Maino needs protection. His feet are tired. We were almost conceding a goal because he was not tracking back right. Why? Because he was tired. This boy needs protection. That's why I bring on Ugarte, who is rock solid in the to shield the back line. Let Bruno, because he's the captain, because Bruno should have also been substituted because he didn't have a good game. Probably substitute Bruno and advance Eriksen. But knowing that Erik ten Hag can't do that, can't substitute his captain, okay, leave him on because Bruno can pull out anything when you're chasing a game. It's a difficult, even when he has had a bad game, it's a difficult call to make to pull him off because he can pull out something. But pull off Eriksen, Ugarte, let Ugarte sit, let Bruno play next to Zirkzee because we want goals to try and feed Højlund, keep Højlund there. So for me, certain wrong substitutions that were made by Erik ten Hag that costed us a game, that costed us an exciting revenge against the team that disrespected us in the previous fixture. They will leave saying, goodness, how did we survive this? So yes, the positives were there. The patterns of play were there, especially the first half and a few minutes in the second stanza. But then they started getting nervous and anxious as it grew. That's why you saw Lisandro Martinez coming up with a tackle I've never seen in football. I don't think I've seen that double tackle in professional football in my life. You can remind me of one if you've seen one. The way he jumped and tried as if, what was that Lisandro Martinez was doing? So that was a sign of anxiety. They were hoping that they played so well and they deserved the goal, but the goal wasn't coming. They became frustrated, and that was a sign of frustration. And that worked to the advantage of Crystal Palace. And United could have been beaten by Crystal Palace had it been for the genius of the short stopper that is Andre Onana. So guys, again, mix your feelings, honestly. For me, this is a game we should have won easily. This is a game we should have won easily. I want to try to rate the players. Of course, Andrew Nana with that double save should be the save of the month, probably the save of the league. But I would give him he wasn't asked so many questions, to be honest, but I would give him yes, just because of that save that could have been a goal. I would give him an 8 out of 10. Then central defense, Delete. I love the way he gets to the end of set pieces, especially corners. He always gets to the end of them. I think he will be an important player for us when it comes to those. Then Lisandro Martinez confusion. I think he reached a point where he got out of the game, but also at times his decision making in terms of passing the ball from behind at times for me is a bit lacking. It takes so long to decide where he wants to pass the ball at times, and you don't feel him. I would give Lisandro Martinez, because of the standards we know him for. For me, he had a just above average game. I'll give him 5.5, honestly. He's way better than that. Mazraoui, baller, proper baller. I think he was our third best player after Onana and Zirkzee. So I'll give Mazraoui a technical player, smart the way he plays. I'll give Mazraoui a 7 out of 10. Then on the left, Garnacho, good moments when he cuts in and adds to the overloads in the middle. I'll give rather Dallo, not Garnacho, Diogo Dallo on the left. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Okay. In the Kobe, second stanza was a bit better for him, but he was also playing so many wrong passes in the first half. Something is not right with Kobe up to now for me. It's not the exciting Kobe we used to see, but I mean it's part of the growth. So I'll give him a 5 out of 10 for me. Kobe's game was quite average. Then Eriksen, 5.5 maybe out of 10. Bruno, his worst game. I'll give Bruno a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Then Zirkzee, for me, 8.5. Our better player. His link-up play, impeccable link-up play. Garnacho and Ahmad, I'll give both of them 7 because I thought they tried to really ask questions, but Ahmad always had a lot of traffic on his side. Garnacho in the first stanza created so many chances, never buried, some by himself, others by the people he was feeding. So basically, you look at the whole game and you're thinking, it was a mixture. The positives were there, but for as long as you're not clinical in football, you're done. And again, this is another missed opportunity for us to get a sweet revenge against the team that obliterated us in the last meeting we had, the 4-0 thumping. So what then do you do? So that's what it is. But what I like also is the fact that, of course, in terms of the rotations, I think the rotations are making us look like we've got depth. It's just now Erik ten Hag, like I've been saying for a long time, he needs a refresher course in in substitutions and game management. I still think Eric Ten Hag's game management is the weakest link now for him. He's got to work on it. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comment, and let me know what you felt about the game. How would you rate it? Out of 10, the whole performance, besides being clinical, which is the most important thing, just because of that, and how it ended, I would give them a 7 sounds too generous when you haven't scored. I'll give them a 6 out of 10.